Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar or our live video here today, our podcast, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for joining, much appreciated. So we're kind of segueing in, or not segueing, what's the sequel to last week we talked about transformational leadership principles, how to lead with purpose and passion. We talked about a lot of important leadership principles, so we covered a lot of ground. If this is your first time watching, welcome. If this is your second or third time, welcome. Thank you for joining us again. Please, I'm always going to say, please spread the message. We give all this away for free, and with the hope of inspiring lots of other hardworking Kiwis and other people around the world to help grow our little economy here, help improve our productivity, help improve our quality of life as a nation in New Zealand. So really passionate about that. That's why we do this stuff, and we love to pay it forward, all the great things that we've learned from others and then taken them and premierified them, if you like. So welcome. Make sure you go to, I'm going to pop it up here by the way, Premier Business Academy.co.nz for lots of free resources. So there's lots of cool stuff you can see there. Are we all good, Hannah? We're good. We're on. Just checking with one of our great marketing team to make sure this is all working. Okay, so we're good. So let's keep moving. So premierbusinessacademy.co.nz, lots of free resources there. Go grab them, make the most of them, use them. Reach out to me if you need to. Do not email me, but you can contact me through the website, and you can contact me on WhatsApp. Voice note is great. Or connect with me on LinkedIn. We can chat there. Away we go. Love to chat, and most of our content and most of the things we help people with come from great questions from people like yourself. So once again, thank you so much for joining. So the one thing you need to know about leadership. What is the one thing? Because people often ask that, just can you distill it down to one thing? So the one thing is this. The one thing you need to know about leadership is that there is lots of little things you need to do right. The one thing you need to know is that there is not one thing about leadership that makes you a great leader. All right, so that's really important to learn that. So just checking that we're good here with the team. Yeah, we're good. I'm getting a thumbs up. I'm getting a nod. Thanks, Hannah. You're a total legend. Really appreciate what you do helping out, setting up these webinars. Give her a big clap, team, if you're on. Thanks, Hannah. You're amazing. The one thing. So that is the one thing. You got to get that straight. And I like to look at it or think about leadership as like a big wheel, and that there's many spokes to the wheel. Let's pretend that's you as the leader in here, and you're learning all these skills every day that make you a great leader. There could be, I probably could put together a list of maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 things that work. Some are more important than others. Some are just totally foundational principles, but you need to keep learning and getting better at them. And then the faster that wheel can move along, the faster you can take your team with you. Because if you think about it, your team is really only as good as your leadership. So that's really your cap at how good your leadership is. So the better your leadership becomes, the better you can grow your team or your family or your sports team or your business or whatever it might be. So this is the amazing thing. If you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go as a team, take others with you. So leadership's a really key thing in life, and we can always get better at it every single day. That learning journey goes on and on, and it's never ending. So number 2, I'm going to talk about empower. What does this mean? Empowering your people. So this is such a huge one, and people often ask that, how do we empower our people? It's all very well to say empower your people, but how do you do that? You do this by treating them like an owner, by opening up your financial accounts. I'm going to give you some. So to today's session, we're going to give more practical examples as we go, because one of my great friends, Phil, who's another lean maniac, and in one of my group chats that I'm in, he suggested that I share more examples of these things that I talk about or we talk about. So empowering. If I look around our team and look at the best leaders amongst our team at Premier Group NZ, they are people who are empowering their people. They're constantly training them and growing them and teaching them and sharing with them things about the business and helping them with their mindset and their building up resilience and helping them to be better a family man or a family woman, helping them to be better in their families, helping them to be better Kiwis, so empowering your people, giving them the tools they need, giving them the information they need, setting up great processes and great systems. And that's about leadership, but it's also about getting your people on that journey. And we could talk all day about another passion of mine, which is 2-second lean. We've got lots more to come around that, but and if you've watched any of our videos, you will have learned a lot about 2-second lean and how we apply it here at Premier Group, and how we train and coach many other people all around the world, actually, how to implement 2-second lean. We're actually on a great webinar tomorrow with some lean leaders. It's a global audience tomorrow, so if you want to jump on at 6 a.m. tomorrow, let me know if you need the link, 6 a.m. New Zealand time. So empowering your people is so critical. If you don't empower people, make them feel valued, make them feel appreciated, and give them the tools and the training that they need, the tools, the training, and the the skills, the techniques, all the things they need, the knowledge. And if you're going to keep secrets, if you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to tell them what our sales are each day, but we're not going to tell them what our net profit is, you're a big handbrake. So I can be a little bit brutal in these sessions, and that's what this is all about, is being candid, because being lean is being candid. Good leadership, good leaders are candid with one another. They don't flower things up too much. It's not that we intend to hurt anyone's feelings, but if you want to become a great leader, you're going to have to grow a bit of a rhino skin, and you're going to have to take feedback. You have to be great at taking feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, and that's a great, a simple saying. You've probably heard it before. But you need to write this down. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So you've got to be, humble enough. We talked last week about humility, being humble, saying you're wrong, taking extreme ownership of situations, especially when things are not going well or things are going not great. So empower. More examples of that would be, in our business with the 2-second lean technique, we practice everyone is able to make improvements in their immediate area every single day. They're able to suggest improvements, but also not just suggest them, but make the improvements as they go along. So everyone every day is involved in Kaizen events or mini Kaizen events, which is improvement events, or just stopping and fixing what bugs them, stopping and removing the struggle to make work flow. So that's empowering your people, okay? And remember, standardized processes. So training your people how to create standards and training them how to create SOPs or standard operating procedures and walkaway standards and all these great tools. These are practical examples of empowering your people. I could talk all day about just this one subject, so maybe we should do a webinar just based on that. I'm actually going to write that down. Empower your people. Here we go. So I'll just scribble that down. The next one is influence. If you cannot influence people to follow, you are never going to be a leader, right? So it starts with influencing one other person, then you've got a follower, right? But what you've got to understand, the first thing, and I talked about this last week briefly and touched on it, is that if you're not a great follower, you're never going to be a great leader, because you don't know what a great leader looks like, right? So you look around you right now, there's people you'll be following, whether you realize it or not, and people that you're inspired to follow. Those are the true leaders, people that compel you, they inspire you, they motivate you, they excite you, they want you, that you realize that they've got your best interests at heart, and that they want you to move ahead, they want you to get ahead, they want you to become the best person you possibly can be. That's influence. And how do you do that? That can be really, really challenging, but I always say, and hopefully this encourages someone that's listening today, is that great leaders are not made or born. Are not born. Sorry, they're made. So you can. We've seen people in our business over the last 20 years, 22 years of employing people that, and prior to that, when I was in sort of management roles as well, is that it's incredible what you can do with or any human being, really, is that they've got this huge untapped potential, and it's your job in leadership to uncover that potential, and be a good influence and show them, lead by example. A lot of the things I'm going to share with you today are probably things either things you've heard before, or maybe reinforcing things you've heard before, or hopefully just a bit of a shot in the arm to really help you improve your leadership skills and become a better leader for your family, for your business, for your community, for your country as well. So remember, everyone, you either have a positive influence or a negative influence. There's no really such thing as a neutral. You're either doing great positive stuff that's pulling your country and your neighborhood and your family ahead, or you're doing things that are harming your family or your neighborhood or your community. So influence is really key. And that a lot of that comes back to your daily habits. What do they look like? So leadership is hard, okay? And a lot of people don't want to become, or they will never become a great leader, because Oliver, thanks. Can you please speak a bit slower? Thanks, Oliver. I tell you what, if you don't mind, I'm going to keep going hard. I should have said this at the start, but it's kind of like all of my sessions are like sort of going pretty flat out, and it's like kind of drinking from a fire hose. So please scribble down something if you think you missed it. You can welcome to ask a question, and we'll circle back to it at the end. What was I saying? Your daily habits have to change. If you want to be a great influence on people, they have to see that you're living and breathing the stuff, that you're keeping yourself fit and healthy. You're eating healthy. You're keeping fit. You're serving them at the highest level. You're bringing your best self to work every day. You're smiling. You're saying thanks. You're showing appreciation. All the basic stuff of being a good human being. But it's incredible when we go to business, people have a personality at home or a personality on the weekend. I see this all the time, and then you watch them at work or in business, and they're totally different personalities. So what I'm saying to you is, you're most likely a good person. Most people want to be a good person. Even those that aren't, they and somewhere inside they want to be a good person, but they perhaps haven't had the guidance or direction to become a good person. And that's your job as a leader, is to take people that have either a bad upbringing or average upbringing and lift them up, show them that there's a better way, show them how to set goals, show them how to to create a better life for themselves. You can't hand it all to them on a plate. There's that old saying, if you feed a man a fish, or give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. I'm a massive believer in that. And again, that's your job to empower your people. That goes back to empowerment again, and it comes back to influence as well. How can you influence people? How can you inspire people? And this comes back to a couple of things we talked about last week. We're not going to be able to cover all this ground again today, but think about the CEO, which we talked about. My brand new pen is running out already. We do too many of these sessions, and I've got a backup here. CEO, which is the Chief Energy Officer, okay, and then the CR, so you got to bring the energy every day, and I talked about last week the CRO, the Chief Reminding Officer. So these are things you can do every day to become a great influence. And even if right now you're working for maybe a boss or a company that doesn't have great leadership, because let's face it, probably 99% of companies I visit don't have great leadership. They just get there by, they're really managers, not leaders, and there's a huge difference there, right? Let's remind you of what that is. So a manager is someone who's managing people and things for a common goal and managing some KPIs. But a leader is someone who inspires others to follow. A leader is someone that you want to follow, right? Want to follow. So you're following them because they're on a mission and they've got great values, and you share those values and you share their vision. You're excited about their vision and you follow them. So that's what we're trying to do here. So my next point I'm going to move to, so we're already quarter of an hour into this, is number 4, who comes first. So this is a really, really important one. By the way, thanks for the feedback, Oliver, and keep the feedback coming, everybody. And again, chuck your questions or notes in here so that we can circle back to them at the end, because I like these sessions to be 30 minutes, and that's it. So, or earlier if we can. Who comes first? So again, we kind of touched on this last week, but the people that come first are your people, your team, okay? If you're putting yourself first and your own interests first, you are never going to become a great leader. And did I say this before? Yes, I did. I've said it a lot of times. Leadership is hard, okay? But remember, if you do the hard things, like learn how to be a great leader, life gets easier, because the more you can influence and grow people and then grow leaders under you, you show them by example, and then you're going to have suddenly a team of owners, a team of people, or over time that your life is going to get a little bit easier, a little bit less drama, a little bit less stress. So all of these things kind of work together for good. And again, today we're only touching on a few little tips and techniques to help you. And this is based on, everything that we know today, everything that we've seen, good examples and bad examples of businesses, and trying to help you shortcut your journey, help you compress time. That's my job every day, is to try and help our people compress time and help people like you, a hard-working Kiwi trying to get ahead, or wherever you are in the world right now, to help you compress time and save you making the same thousands of mistakes that I've made. So you're going to still make mistakes, and you're going to learn from those mistakes. And remember, just a little thing I'm going to share with you again is, remember, smart people learn from everyone and everything. Average people learn from their mistakes only, so don't be that person. And then stupid people already have all the answers, so you definitely don't want to be that person. And we all know those people in our lives where there's plenty of those around us, plenty of those in our workplaces and our families, sadly. So don't be that stupid person. Be the smart person, learning from everyone and everything, which means learning from your experiences as well. And then that wheel, you're going to keep filling out that wheel. It's going to get better. Your wheel is going to get bigger and more influential, and it's going to keep rolling in the right direction. It's going to pick up speed and momentum. So all this stuff is to really, I guess, encourage you, inspire you to become a better leader. So keep the feedback coming, keep the notes coming. Thanks, team. Tell me if the sound is good, by the way, and the visuals are good, because we're always trying to improve on these as well. So who comes first? Your people. So we touched on it last week, but you have to become a servant leader, which means you're serving the people that you lead. It means you are. Let's look at some practical examples. Some things we do here at Premier Group. We do it well. We can always do them better because we're always on this improvement journey. But things like 5-year goal plans, sitting down with your team regularly, each one, or getting and doing it. Training your team leaders how to do this so they can do it with their teams. Because let's say you're a business of 50 people or 100 people, you can't do it all by yourself, but you can train your leadership team. You can sit them down and do your 5-year goal plan. Make sure you're updating that regularly. Make sure it's in front of them. Make sure you understand what their most important life goals are and what you can do. And you ask them, what can I do to support you getting to this life goal? It might be something like, I need a, we've got an error here. I don't know what that means. It might mean that they say to you, and here's another practical example. They might say, well, I want to buy a house within 5 years, but I've got all this bad debt, and then you can give them some tips and point them in the right direction, or you can give them your time and advice of things you've done. You might even be able to, as a business, help them with their first home deposit, as a no interest loan or a low interest loan, or there's so many things you can do. Or you might not have the funds to do that in your business. You might not have the cash to do that in your business, but there's many other ways you can practically help your people. They might say, I need some accounting training. You can put them through a little accounting course and pay for that. There's all these things you can do to support them and putting your people first. And this is what servant leadership is about. And it's about, when you celebrate, when you've got a team barbecue, then you're cooking, you're serving your people. You're cooking the sausages or cooking the pizza or cooking the whatever, or you're handing around food and drinks for your people. These are just very simple, practical examples. And you might say, that's crazy, I do that already, that's stupid, that's simple. But you'd be surprised how many people don't understand what servant leadership means. And if you look around the world, even today, but if you look back in history, the best leaders that have been amongst us, on this earth have been servant leaders. So they're serving those that they lead. They've got their people's best interests at heart. It doesn't mean you're doing 80 hours a week because and grinding yourself to the death. It doesn't mean that at all, because that means you're not going to be serving your people at your best level, because your health and fitness is going to deteriorate, your mindset's going to deteriorate. So it actually means you've got to create some balance in your life, and this is where it comes back to influence, is that you need to show them how you're prioritizing your health and fitness, you're prioritizing your well-being, and then you're prioritizing your family life, making sure but that your business and your business growth is supporting those things. So it's a balance, and I don't think you ever can stop learning it and get better at that balance. So I'm just saying to you that you need to think about your wheel of life as well. I don't know if you've ever come across that concept. Can't quite see that there by the looks on the board. But the wheel of life, let's just use this here and think about the things that you need. You need health, you need family, you need finance. There's a bunch of things you can work out your own wheel of life. There's lots of wheel of life templates you can use, but these things help you get balance. There's social life. There's all sorts of things. There's your spiritual well-being. There's all sorts of things that come into this wheel of life, and you as a leader needs to keep getting better at these things. So I suggest you have use that. I wasn't even going to bring that in today, but use that sort of wheel of life type thing as a template to help you get better, and then you can keep sharing that advice and what you're learning from your life balance or your work-life balance, your work-life health, finance balance. All these things are important. And then you can be again serving and serving and serving. So really, again, you've got to have a massive growth and learning mindset. You need to be learning all the time, and getting better as as a person, because if your personal development, is getting better, you're getting better as a person, you're going to become a better and better servant leader. And I've got lots of books I can recommend on leadership, which will help you just in every book you listen to. Especially, you've got to listen to good books. There's a lot of crap out there, but if you can cut through the noise and just get that 0.001%. Yeah, of the good books that are there, you can always get better at leadership and start applying those principles. So growing people, I'm going to go to number 5. We touched on this last week as well, and we've kind of touched on it again, but you'll see how this all fits together. Growing people every day. And I'm going to give you some practical examples. At Premier Group, we've created a platform, and it's getting better and better and better by the day. It's like a business training platform. We call it the Growing People Program, GPP, and it's like a website. Or an online academy where everyone has to log in and do 15, 20, 30 minutes of training a day, and they work through courses like mindset, sales, lean operations, or lean mindset, leadership. They're working through all these modules, so every day they're getting better, their personal development's happening, and people come and join us. We're always hiring new people, and they join us, and they've never often have not understood that that growth and learning is there. Education is the way that they can get free. If they keep educating themselves and keep learning new things, because you don't know what you don't know, right? They can become better and they can accelerate their journey to their life goals. So if you get really good at this, what's another great practical example is this: in your business, start a morning meeting. Really key. And in that morning meeting, make sure that there's like a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minute video as part of your agenda, and you set that up as a leader. Make sure it's you might have a video. There's so much good content, for example, on let's say on YouTube, or there's lots of people we follow on YouTube with really good high value content, and you just show one video a day on some examples of lean improvements, some examples of might be mindset training, might be resilience slash mindset, might be sales training, marketing training. So that's another practical example of how you can apply the growing people mindset, or this piece of the puzzle. Because like I keep saying, it's like either like a wheel with lots of spokes, or you can look at it like a puzzle, and you put all these things together, and your leadership will get better and better, and then of course your team will get better, and your business will get better. So hopefully this is making sense so far. Give us a thumbs up or something in the chat to let us know if this is making sense so far. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on going. I can't actually see all the chats because we're live on about 4 platforms right now. I think I can only see the YouTube one right now. Okay, let's keep moving. The bank account, what is this? And if you want more practical examples, by the way, just pop them in the chat, and I'll pop your question in the chat, and I'll try and give you some more practical examples of how to actually put these principles into place. The bank account, what does that mean? This is, and we touched on it last week, the emotional bank account of your people. So this is where you need to deposit praise and gratitude and recognition and things like that each and every day. You need to get really good at saying, well done, good work, good job, fantastic stuff. Use their name. Well done, Joan. That was awesome what you did there. And that's why, here's a practical example of this. Let's give you one right now. Is set up a group chat and call it the ABC, whatever your company name is, ABC Company Good News Chat, right? And every time there's some good news, tiny bit of good news that comes in on the chat, and you're going to have to kick this off as a leader and keep sharing any piece of good news you get during the day, but make sure your team start, and lead that by example, but get your leaders to start doing it, and then try and get everyone involved. And then you're recognizing that. You're saying, with a voice note or a quick video, you're saying, hey, Jeff, well done, that was amazing. Well done for getting that order over the line, or well done for bringing that new customer on board, or well done for getting that quote out so quickly. So you're building up this emotional. You're making deposits in this bank account every single day, and the more the merrier. People say, doesn't it get, at what point is it over the top? I would say to people, if it's genuine, it's never over the top. If I could, I'd get around all our staff every day, which is impossible, but I'd get around every day and say, thanks for every little thing they're doing, but it's not practical, right? So as much as you possibly can, especially on these group chats. That's a really achievable way of recognizing your people. Do a video because that's so personal. Just say, you just pull out your phone. We use WhatsApp for all our chats. We've got so many different chats, sales chat, good news chat, our lean improvements chat. And there's opportunities for me as a leader every day to praise people personally, to recognise them personally, and again, the bank account, people's birthdays, make sure you've got a system in here's another practical example, so a system in your business where everyone's birthdays are tracked, and that goes on the good news chat. Either you or someone's responsible for saying, hey, happy birthday Pete, or happy birthday Mary. It's congratulations for making it this far. You jump on the chat and add your weight, so happy birthday, thanks for being with us, or happy work anniversary. You should be tracking those as well. So we do that, and so there's lots of little practical examples I can give you where you can build that bank account up, and that's worth more than any bonus. It's incredible how you can build people up just with that simple act of thanks. The gratitude, praise, recognition in front of their peers. Peer recognition is so important. It lifts up their self-esteem, it lifts up their self-worth, makes people feel valuable because they are. So you have to be genuine in your praise. You can't, I wouldn't be able to count how many times a day I say thank you or praise someone, but it's always genuine. I absolutely 100% mean it, and my people know it. And our leadership team, we're training them all the time, and they do the same thing. We've got some great leaders here at Premier Group, and they do far better than me, and they do the same thing, and they do it better. They're really, really good at it. So make those little deposits every day. Those deposits build up and up and up, to build this incredible bank account of emotional deposits. It's so powerful. If you're not doing it now, get started. Very simple, costs you nothing. Another practical example is that wherever I go, whether it's visiting our factories, our offices, our sales team, when I'm out on the road, is use fist bump or shake their hand and say thanks for being here today. Thanks for being a key part of the team. Yeah, how simple is that? Costs you nothing, but means the world. So it's showing respect, it's showing gratitude. So now we are at the 30-minute mark, so we're going to go to last point number 7, which we talked about last week. I want to give you some practical examples, which is blame the process, not the person. So this is so critical, and I explained last week that we used to have very much a blame culture here at Premier Group, and we learned over the years to blame the process, not the person. So what does that mean? When something goes wrong, a customer delivery gets stuffed up, or there's a quality issue or a defect gets to the customer, something bad happens, or someone doesn't get back to a customer, someone breaks a promise, whatever it might be, you blame the process because the process is at fault. And until you really accept that and understand that, you're going to struggle to make progress as a leader, because you're always going to, if you don't get into the habit of this, you're never truly going to empower your people, and you're never truly going to get transparency. You will not get a culture of transparency in your business. There's just no way, zip, nada, never going to happen. Because even if you just pay lip service to this but don't show it, it's people are just not going to talk about their problems or their mistakes. And when there's no problems, there's a big problem, okay? So when you get in your morning meeting and you look around, and part of your agenda should be, hey, what was our problems yesterday that we need to fix and resolve? And people say no problems, then you've got a huge problem in your culture and your business, because it means there's probably 20, 30, 40, 50 problems from yesterday hiding under the surface, because you are blaming the person, not the process. So this is a really powerful one. All of these are important, and they all work together, but some of them are like total game changers. They're probably all game changers really, but this one here, honestly, if you want to create a culture of transparency, a culture of trust, which is how you get this wheel going quickly, trust, the speed of trust, the more trust there is, the faster your business can move, the faster everything can move and grow. Then this is my high recommendation, is that you get into this and you put it on. If you're struggling with it, put it on posters all around your business, put it in your morning meeting, put it in the agenda, and say, team, and you're just going to have to keep reminding them. That's part of your CRO hat, Chief Reminding Officer. Team, right here, if something goes wrong in this company, we blame the process, not the person. Bob, there was a massive stuff I heard about yesterday, not like what went wrong, how can we improve the process? Thanks for bringing it to the surface, thanks for raising it. we're not blaming you, we're blaming the process. You literally have to use this kind of language to get this type of culture off the ground. Really important. So, Pete, we heard about this problem yesterday. It came up on a support ticket. Thanks for raising it, or you raised it in this meeting yesterday, or you raised it during the day. What are we going to do to improve the process, to mistake-proof the process? Because everything in your business is a process, everything in your life is a process, and that's a subject for another time. We could talk about that for 2 hours. But you need to really drill down on that and get this going on. I was at a lean training course the other day, and a guy spoke up, and he had a problem in his business. He's just like quite a reasonable sized business, and he's quite a cynical sort of guy, and he was saying, he was asking the teacher, the coach, the tutor. It was a group of probably 30 of us in the room, maybe 40, quite a big class. It was a great class actually. And he's saying, we have just average people, we just can't hire good people, and they're just always making mistakes, and I spoke up and I said, look, we learned something from Toyota that if the student hasn't learnt, the teacher hasn't taught. And we also have this principle of blame the process, not the person. This guy was pretty seedy. He did not like my contribution, or I was trying to help, right? In a nice way. I wasn't being abrasive. I just said, one thing I said we had a real culture of blame, and this is what we tried to do. And anyway, at lunch, a bit later on, he made this real snarky comment when we were getting our food. And I just smiled at him and just ignored him. But he just didn't want to accept that the process is at fault, and that the teacher is at fault, or that because he obviously wasn't humble enough to admit that he had a big problem with his leadership, which is a shame, because he'll be a massive handbrake to his business forevermore until he understands that you've got to blame the process, and that the teacher needs to teach. So there's coaching and training as well, obviously, but that's a process. So anyway, so we can talk about that for hours as well. So we've covered everything. If there's any questions, put them in now, and I'll stay on for like maybe 1 more minute and take that. Or any feedback if you're about to leave the group now, pop in your feedback, and please leave us a Google review at premierbusinessacademy.co.nz. And also, if you can, it would be really appreciated. That's a way you can help us to help you more at Premier, or you can go to premierbrick.nz. and leave us a review there too. We appreciate your reviews because they help us to share our message more and get our message more out there. Kind of lifts our ranking and gets us in front of more people, and helps us to share these types of messages to help make New Zealand a better place. So if you can do that, that would be amazing. I am done. I can't see anything coming in on the YouTube channel, but Hannah, can you help me? Maybe there's something coming in on other channels right now. Please feel free, team, to put any feedback in the chat before we go. Okay, Hannah's saying no, so we're going to end the session. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, make the most of all the free resources at premierbusinessacademy.co.nz, and you're welcome. That's what we love to do, is pay it forward and share all this stuff, because it helps to create a stronger country, right? And better neighbourhoods, better communities, better people, better businesses, which is what we desperately need in New Zealand right now, and lots of other places around the world as well. Thanks again for watching. We're going to end the stream.